Us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store. For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
See what I want to do. I don't know if I can say what I want to do. Maybe I can.
You have to grab the back of your neck to make you listen to me.
Okay, 2000. What's up? You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. And we are going to get into some things this evening. I am your host, Jill Munroe. You are checking out the show where we give you all the trending topics in entertainment, sports, culture, and lifestyle. Thank you for tuning in, VIPs. We have a lot to talk about tonight, as always. So I hope you're comfortable. I hope you are relaxed and ready to get into some things. Let me let you know what we have on the agenda for this evening, this hump day, Wednesday evening. We're going to be discussing Sisqo, hence us hearing the famous Sisqo single from his, did he have 2 albums? Okay, but this was from the debut release. So, that album is actually a great album. I have a theory about why that album is really an underrated 2000s classic.
Okay.
Really, really is. Okay, so, some night we'll talk about that. Maybe later on tonight if there's time, because we have a packed show. We're also going to be discussing, are narcissists made and not born? Some people believe that narcissists are born, but we're going to discuss an article that I came across that says that narcissists are actually made by the behaviors of parents. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to get into Lizzo's documentary director. There's a lot buzzing in social media about Lizzo at this time. We're going to talk a little bit about what her documentary director, who was not a part of the suit that was filed, had to say about her experience working with her. We're also going to discuss, is it appropriate to, as it seems maybe with this case and a lot of others that we've seen, attempt to try your case in the media? We're going to deal with that. We're also going to talk about Somalia's performance in the 100 meters. Something interesting happened with the athlete that they sent to the games. We're going to get into that. We have a guest this evening, Gil Robertson. He is the president of the African American Film Critics Association, the largest association of Black TV and film critics in the nation. We're going to be talking with him. And of course, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. That means that Trent Jackson is in the house, our Keep It Real friend. And we're also going to get into some Tubi reviews later. We're going to be discussing He Played Me, which is the Tubi movie that was suggested that we check out for this week. So we're going to get into all of that. So I hope that you are ready. I hope that you are comfortable. But first, let's get into a couple of conversation starters. So, Kylie Jenner, she is part of the Kardashian clan. She's a Jenner, but Kardashians, we get it. She's partnered up with the Bratz dolls, and this is perfect timing following the success of the Barbie movie. We know Bratz were a serious competitor in the late 90s and early 2000s to the Mattel Barbie empire. They had more swag. They were a little bit more fashionable. Each doll was a different race or nationality, and so there was more opportunity, in theory, for girls to identify with each one. Sasha was the black one. We love Sasha. So Kylie Jenner and Bratz have partnered up on the launch of a mini collectible doll collection. They contain several fashion moments from Kylie's various moments out in TV. One of them is the Met Gala and so forth. But the doll is very brown, very, very brown, very, very tan. And so some are wondering if they wanted to present a tan version of a Bratz doll, why not get a woman of color up in there? You know, we'll have to see how well the line does. We'll have to see if maybe that's what's up next. Maybe there is a woman of color that is lined up that would make an appropriate Bratz doll. I think that that's something that we'd like to see, you know. I think there's a couple of people that could make for a good Bratz interaction. And, you know, eventually I'm sure that we're going to see that back in the movie. So that's it with that. We're also going to get into a little bit of an announcement. You know, Michael Bivins, he's a member of New Edition and BBD. So he has recently announced that he has his own documentary coming. It's titled The Hustle of 617 Mike Biv. We know that in addition to what he did with New Edition and BBD, he also was responsible for Boys to Men, bringing them to the forefront, ABC, a bunch of other groups that were connected with his East Coast family thing. He was a music manager. So he said that several people have been coming to him, letting him know that he had a good story that should be presented. So his docuseries is coming to the All Black Network. You know, it's a follow-up to the BET movie on New Edition. He also said that he was very inspired by the Netflix documentary, The Black Godfather, which covered Clarence Avant and everything, all of his contributions to the entertainment industry in various capacities, sports as well. So Biv said, I thought when I saw this story, that's how I see myself. What he does, what he did for others, because I consult for so many people, and I'm not even a consulting firm. I never charge them a dime, but my phone rings from artists all the time. So he said they're like, Biv helped me do this, Biv helped me do that, and I gave away all the game for free. So he said one day he was doing a radio interview. It was suggested that he should tell his story and put it together. So he said he took a leap of faith and put it out there and started filming his documentary. So we will check that out next month if you are interested in the story behind Michael Bivins. When we come forward, we will be talking with the president of the African American Film Critics Association, that's AAFCA for short, Gil Robertson. We're going to get into his backstory. We're going to discuss the AAFCA TV honors, which were just announced, and a bunch of other things. All of that and more. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe, here live on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, yeah, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Yeah.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome forward. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. My guest this evening is so esteemed. I'm so excited to have him on. He is an author, a pop culture critic, a journalist, a lecturer, a media consultant. He is the co-founder and president of the African American Film Critics Association. You've seen him share his expertise on shows like CNN, HLM, MSNBC, E! Entertainment Network, and on our station owner, Tavis Smiley's show as well. So I'd like to introduce you to Gil L. Robertson, TV and film critic extraordinaire. Gil, welcome to RSVP.
How are you doing, Jill?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the rousing welcome.
I'm very excited to have you on, Gil. You have a rich history, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. So, starting right off, all of your accolades, you've been in this industry for over 20 years. How does one decide that they want to become an entertainment journalist?
Oh my God, they want to decide. They're looking for the hard way to go, right?
Right.
Actually, being an entertainment journalist can be a very fruitful career. If you manage things correctly. It certainly has for me. It can open the door for a lot of other opportunities that you may want to pursue. Create opportunities for you to travel, meet new and exciting people. It's just basically deciding that you have the skill set, and that you have the wherewithal, the resilience to, stay on track and create and build a career for yourself.
Amazing, and you've done just that. So being that you've touched so many different parts of this industry and we've watched it evolve, especially over the last 5 or 6 years or so, what do you say to those that are wanting to enter into this space now? Because it's changing rapidly. It's such a different industry from when you had your early roots.
Well, it's true, but it's still important to know your audience, know who they are, know what they need, what they're looking for in terms of the output, the coverage that you can offer, being diligent and providing them with those things in a consistent, quality-oriented way, and to just simply build from there.
Okay. So at a time like this, when we're looking at the Writers Guild striking and the Screen Actors Guild striking, how does that impact someone with a job like yours?
Well, it can be tough, but it's important to not put all of your eggs in one basket, like anything in this country. When you decide on a profession, what you're really doing is deciding on a business, and so it's best to operate your career as a business. And most businesses in this country operate off of multiple income streams. So my recommendation would be to, again, not lay all your eggs in one basket, but to diversify, the type of news and information that you offer, so that when something like the writer's strike and the actor's strike comes up, you're not dependent, you're not paralyzed, you're not handicapped by the fact that those personalities, that those assets are no longer available to you. And you can then pivot into other things like music, or like people who are doing things socially or within the business community.
Absolutely. So, since you are the pinnacle of TV and film critics, what are some of your favorite? The TV honors are coming up later this month, right? They've been announced. So, what have been?
Actually, we have, because of the strike, we've had to push them back to October 29th.
Okay, so October 29th. But we do know some of the winners.
Yes.
Okay, so I saw that. Well, obviously, I voted too. For example, Jessica Williams is a breakout star. Tell me about the process that you go through, being that there's so much content, in selecting the projects that get highlighted when it comes time for the film honors, which took place in March, or the TV honors, which is usually the end of summer, but now pushed back because of what's going on.
You know, it's an arduous process. There's a lot of good content out there. We have a special committee that takes a look at the various projects that have been released during a certain window of time, calendar year, and we vote. We vote based on the performances. We vote based on our gut feeling about is this actor, is this project something that is worthy of people's time, quite frankly, because we're all pressed for time. And, you know, sometimes people agree and sometimes they don't. But in every case, we pick, our picks represent individuals and, television shows that raise the art form of acting to the highest standards.
Absolutely. I love attending the awards because they're always quality and the guests are there and everyone looks amazing and beautiful. You put together a great show. So, in thinking about where we are currently and everything that's sort of surrounding entertainment right now, when you look back to the concept and the creation of the African American Film Critics Association, what motivated you to put this body together? And did you envision that it would be where it is today?
Well, I certainly didn't envision, have an idea of what was going to come when we started the organization in 2003. But at the time that we started, there was a need for Black journalists to come together in order to receive the type of access that was needed in order to grow our careers. And that was twofold, because you had professionals within the industry who weren't getting the level of attention that they deserved. And so AAFCA serves as an opportunity for emerging journalists to embark and to create building blocks that will hopefully establish them within the industry. And the same is true for artists, in front of the camera and below the line, to be recognized, to be seen by our members, and to hopefully utilize whatever coverage that we can bring to them to create building blocks for themselves.
Absolutely. I've been to amazing panels with music supervisors and different aspects of the industry where we get to meet and have face-to-face and kind of understand a bit more about their jobs and how it progresses. So speaking of helping emerging journalists in that space, there's been a lot of conversation, especially because of what's going on with the strike, about influencers and the difference between influencers and journalists and the lack of, or sometimes the overextending to influencers where we are now today. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that there is a lane for them to coexist together?
Well, there's certainly a lane for them to coexist together, but journalists are journalists. Journalists operate on a code of integrity where they are making summations about performances and about films and about television shows and other entertainment content based on tried and true criteria. You know, it's not about who's popular. It's not about who's getting the most tweets or the most hits on Instagram, but it's about who's doing the work. So I think what we can't allow the industry to manipulate us. We have to recognize that there's strengths on both sides and work together, you know, with a common goal to, you know, to just shine light on talent that's deserving.
Do you think it's something that the studios and the publicists really understand and get, or do they have the same appreciation for what the journalists bring and what they, bring to the table as far as reviewing and really breaking down the films? Or is it now everything seems to be leaning more towards, in their opinion, these social numbers?
You know, they do and they don't. They recognize that it's like the race, the tortoise and the hare. They recognize that, you know, for the moment, you know, the influencers are the hare and they're the ones who are out front and who are receiving, you know, the attention and the applause. But they also recognize that the turtle, steadily as he moves, you know, has credentials that are solid and that are timeless in their critique and their benefit to the industry. So, again, I think that there's a place where both can exist. But let's not forget who won the race. The
Right.
turtle and not the hare.
That's right. I appreciate that fable. So, Gil, you have a ton of accolades as an adult. Tell me something that was incredible or that you remember from your childhood that stood out, that you maybe haven't acknowledged in a long time.
Well, I grew up in L.A., and I had fabulous parents and had a pretty nice upbringing. And, you know, it's so that, yeah, that overall, I mean, just growing up in this place where there's so much opportunity, you know, has been a true blessing.
It really has. We've had the conversation before about being LA natives and how it shapes a different perspective of the entertainment industry, because you always know that it is a business and it is a tangible business that you can touch and shape. Can you share with me how growing up in LA has shaped your career?
Well, I mean, number one, it brought me access so that when I started, you know, my career as a fledgling journalist nearly 30 years ago, the one thing that I had in my favor was that, unlike a lot of my contemporaries, a lot of my competitors, I was here. So there was no need, from a budgetary standpoint, you know, there was no need to fly anyone in, to put anyone up. You know, I could simply be assigned and could get the job done, you know, without all of those additional costs.
Amazing. So, yeah.
But it was also important to be consistent and also important to, you know, maintain a level of quality that would earn you respect.
Do you think that there is a less of an emphasis on quality where we are currently today?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, all you need to do is turn on the evening news or the national news and see, you know, what our leadership situation looks like, to know that, you know, those values aren't necessarily the strongest right now. But I'm confident that things will return to, you know, that there will be a reset, and that those individuals who, you know, have maintained a core discipline and a core respect to that discipline will rise to the top. Remember, the tortoise won the race.
Absolutely. That is the reminder of the night. The tortoise won the race, right? Slow and steady. Well, Gil, please tell our audience where they can find you and find more about AAFCA if they want to tap in and see what is going on with that. Maybe set their future sights on becoming a member.
Absolutely. Our website, of course, is AAFCA.com. We're on Instagram at AAFCA and also on Twitter at the AAFCA, THEAAFCA, and on Facebook at the African American Film Critics Association, as well as LinkedIn. And we definitely welcome, inquiries regarding membership. We have a pretty strict and hard-nosed set of criteria in welcoming members, but we are open to all Black, critics and entertainment journalists, who want to be a part of our ranks.
Amazing. I love that. And something you forgot to mention that I'm going to drop is the AAFCA's YouTube channel, where we have an amazing roundtable series that features the creatives from various TV and film shows and some of the members. So I want to implore people to go check that out too. Sometimes I'm featured in those.
Unbelievable.
Shameless plug.
Someone recently said, skip J School and just watch these. I mean, from soup to nuts, you gain insights in every facet of this industry, from editing and makeup and hair to directing to producing to acting. It is it should be a must do. I wouldn't even take you seriously if you're not a subscriber,
right?
Because it is a must do. You get a chance to watch and witness some of the finest journalists in this country doing their best work.
It is amazing. The conversation is always exciting, great questions, great conversation, and it's a lot of fun too. There's some laughs in there too. Well, Gil, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it as always. Make sure that you are following Gil Robertson and AAFCA to check out everything TV and film related, check out their events, and get some great conversation in there as well. You have a good night, Gil. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Well, that was amazing conversation. As I said, I'm also a member of AAFCA. Shameless plug. Make sure you check out those roundtable discussions. They are great. So, TV and film is a difficult industry to break into. But for those that work hard or are lucky enough to get their breaks, we want to make sure that they are fairly compensated for all their hard work. We want to make sure that they are receiving great treatment. So I appreciate organizations like AAFCA that not only are there to help spread the message for the TV and film in the studios, but to support and rally around the journalists that are there, giving their opinions, giving their expertise to them. And it's great to have an organization like that you can lean on. When we come forward, we will have Trent Jackson, our Keep It Real friend, with us. We're also going to talk about Sisqo and what he had to say about those rumors about dating Beyonce. And, lots of fun. We have so much conversation for you. Next up is news and sports. You're checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. There's new hope that the U.S. may soon get some information about a Black Texas soldier who was captured when he crossed into North Korea. The State Department has reached out to the reclusive nation to get an update. For the first time, North Korea has responded, but they did not give an update. There's fear that Private Travis King is being tortured. He was in the process of being shipped back to El Paso's Fort Bliss when he slipped away from the airport and made a dash across the border. And supporters of former President Donald Trump are being asked for donations to help fight off what the Trump campaign is calling the left's witch hunts. One day after Trump was indicted for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, his campaign sent out emails claiming the former president could face up to 561 years in prison because of the, quote, corrupt DOJ. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Comparing Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at comparinginsurance.com.
Gotta stay fresh, ma. House shot with a rest bar,
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
1455 Frazee Road, Suite 1050, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay. Started off with a little incomplete. Lisa Ray was the lead in this video. Shout out to Lisa Ray. I believe this song was written by Montel Jordan. So, Anthony. Okay. Not Trent knowing the words.
I'll tell you, there's a story behind this.
Okay. Well, Andy's getting us primed and ready. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And it's only right that we come back with some Sisqo, because we are definitely going to get into some Sisqo talk tonight, like it is 2001, and we are talking about the blonde dragon. Unleash the dragon. So, in interesting news, there's a woman named Gloria Velez, and if you aren't familiar with who Gloria Velez was, she was a late 90s, early 2000s video vixen. Most people famously know her from the Big Pimpin' video. She had on the white fur and the white fur hat. She also has a child with Aaron Hall, who is a member of Guy, and she was featured in several of Sisqo's videos. She also, I believe, was featured in the DMX video for What These Beeps Want. And, so she was popular, right? Well, now she has a podcast, and recently she had Sisqo on for the podcast, and he said that, well, she asked a question that apparently I might have missed, but apparently at one point in time there were some rumors that Beyonce and Sisqo back in the day were dating, that they were interested in each other, that they had a fling. So Gloria put the question out there, and Sisqo answered and cleared it up. So we're going to listen to what he had to say.
I thought you was going to say Kim Kardashian.
No.
Because that's a whole other story.
Wait, what?
But I digress.
Wait, you
what?
and her, really?
Huh?
What? I mean,
we'll get
everybody
into
has,
that.
obviously.
No. Me and her have never, look, you know what?
Did
you got to say that.
Beyonce.
No,
Yes,
we were friends.
Okay.
We never.
The MTV Movie Awards. Totally, please get that clip. Totally flirting with you. Googly eyed to Sisqo. I want to say it now. She was young before she was married, obviously. But yeah, I think Sisqo could have.
You are. You know what?
I'm just
that was
saying.
it. Okay, that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I've never. Me and Beyonce never like dated.
Right.
But we were just friends when we were younger, because we were on a lot of the same tours, because we came out around the same time. I believe it came out in 97 and we came out in 96.
So that's Sisqo clearing up one rumor and starting another. So first and foremost, I remember that MTV Awards, Beyonce was hosting the red carpet. That was also the carpet where she interviewed Aaliyah. I thought she was just being a host, but maybe I'm misremembering it. But in this era, we love to hear artists talk about back in the day and things happen and share those stories. It's obviously a big source of content currently, but is there something a little off about guys sharing what went down in the past with a woman that they weren't publicly attached to? What do you think, Trent?
I think that is its normal place in acceptance. It's expected of men to talk about in bragging right who they dated and who they had in
this current culture.
Any culture, that's what guys do. So sure, it's cool. It's always been that way. I think what people misinterpret as a romantic relationship was just really two friends, because you have to think about that time period that they came up. People in the industry were actually friends, and they had, friendships, and they went to parties together, and there was a lot of camaraderie. And like he said, they were on tour together. They came out around the same time. They were both in a group. They both went solo. So there was a lot of parallels that they, knew about. In my head, they're friends, and they really kind of understand each other.
But I mean,
and they're both from black cities, So they have a lot in common.
Do they? I mean, but here's the thing Kim Kardashian, like, is it just, and I understand to a degree why, but at this point, do you believe everybody that said that they had a past? Like, it just seems kind of like it's the easy thing to say or the fun thing to say, like, I'm in the club too. I don't know. Andy, you look like you have some input on this topic.
I'm just curious to know how long these rumors have been about Sisqo and Beyonce. Is this new or what?
No, well, he said Gloria brought it up, and I guess what they are saying is at the time in 2001 that is when the rumors came up. But he said that people had questions recently because back in 2014, after, things go down in the elevator happened, and the following day, Solange posted a bunch of photos, and one of the photos that she posted was a photo of herself, Beyonce, and Sisqo, probably from that time when they were on tour at the time. Remember, Solange was doing backup dancing for them at one point, and then she stepped up into the group to help out for a period of time. So it's entirely possible that's when it was from. But Sisqo said he doesn't know why she posted it, and I guess maybe that brought up questions for some other people, somebody. I don't know. It didn't bring up any questions for me. I never thought that they were anything other than associates or, perhaps friends, but apparently it did.
Yeah, I asked only because the rumors that I heard about Sisqo was his relationship, quote unquote, with Maya. That's what a lot of people were speculating, is Maya and Sisqo an item.
And they did, put that out there with the first video, All About Me, which I love. That was a killer debut single. Maya was dancing her butt out. Oh, you disagree, Trent?
No, I love Maya.
Okay.
I love that video. No, it wasn't that. I'm just saying the rumors that Maya, that's almost, it's laughable to me, and I think it's almost laughable to Maya because I'm just thinking about who Maya is, what she represents, and all that, and it's laughable.
Well, I mean, people were younger back then. That is the imagery that they were trying to put out there, that association to make things,
they were good dance partners.
They were.
The chemistry was on fire, though, on the video.
Yes, because they were good dancers. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know.
Well, dancing brings out the passion in people, so it can look, a different way when it's just you're really good dancing, you're into it. There's passion there. And that equates as chemistry. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be anything other than a platonic energy.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I missed the memo on that one, but he cleared it up and started another one. So, there you go.
But everybody dated Kim Kardashian back in the day.
Did they, though?
I mean, come on. She went to prom with the Jackson boy.
Right.
So she's dated everybody.
That
Ray
doesn't
J,
mean she's dated everybody.
Ray J, Reggie Bush. Come on, name. You got about 6 names you could just spit off the top of your head right now.
So that's my point. If
and
they're
now
the
we
ones
can add Sisqo to the list too.
Can we?
We can.
We can. So speaking of, last night, I believe it was it last night? I believe it was last night. The Renaissance tour continues on. It was in Boston last night. And when Beyonce was on stage and doing the remix of Break My Soul, at the end, she starts naming off different divas' names, and she left off Lizzo's name, but she also left off Roberta Flack, Kelly Rowland, and so forth. Some people thought she was taking off Lizzo's name because of the allegations that were going on. Some people thought that she was sending a shot to Erykah Badu, since Erykah Badu said Beyonce stole her swag, and she hit her with the Badu, Badu, Badu. I'm going to tell you what Miss Tina had to say about it when we come forward. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe right here live on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
Have you heard about Lendustry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. You are locked in VIPs to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, remember, you can hit us up on our socials, KBLA 1580. You can call in if you have opinions about the topics that we have discussed earlier or about the ones that we have coming up. Hit us on the phone line, 800-920-1580, because you know we love to hear your opinions as well. You can also get lit in the chat. The YouTube chat is always popping. It's thriving. So you can hit us up on YouTube and take a look at what's going on there. Hear us audibly, see us visually, all of those good things. So before we came forward, we were discussing Beyonce and Sisqo putting those rumors to bed. And we talked about how Miss Tina, she sees you guys on the internet. She sees the jokes. She sees all the things that you were talking about. And so there was a comment that was said, it was by B I Love You Deep, right? And the person said, Beyonce reiterating Badu and skipping Lizzo, that's hitting two birds with one stone. Miss Tina came through and said, she also didn't say her own sister's name. Y'all really should stop. So Miss Tina says everybody's reading too much into it. But some of the Twitter streets, you know, they have jokes, right? So they said what we have going on here is two witches battling it out because, you know, people say Erykah Badu with her mysticism and Beyonce with her Creole-ness, and they're sending spells out there.
Listen,
I don't know. The chrome, the repeating, it's all in good fun. I think that Beyonce, one, very much does keep her ears to the streets, though, because I don't think it's a coincidence that the following night after Erykah said that, she hit it with Badu, Badu, Badu. Now, her reasons behind that, whether she was saying, hey, girl, I love you, I'm shouting you out, or she was putting a spell down like Twitter says, I don't know. But I think that we know that Beyonce is always listening, or somebody is for her, because she's very much in touch with what's going on. Trent?
You know, the typical spell, you say Beetlejuice's name 3 times, he appears. So there it is.
She said Badu 4 times.
Oh, so she put in that. She really wanted her to pop up.
Maybe.
Come and see me.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Well, that's not our only Beyonce news
I like that
for the
theory,
night.
though. That's pretty funny.
I thought it was amusing, so
Good
that's
laugh.
why I shared. It is a joke. Everybody remember that.
Yes.
Yes. So there's a young artist that is very appreciative of Jay-Z currently. Her name is Lauren Michelle. She was on the news. Beyonce was at the MetLife Stadium over, I think, a few days ago, and she created 3 portraits of Beyonce inspired by the Renaissance album from different visuals that she saw connected to it. Well, Jay-Z saw the news report and he was so blown away by it, he bought the paintings from her. And in the past, she's done paintings for Ariana Fletcher, who is which boxer? She's a boxer's ex-girlfriend and a current rapper's girlfriend, and also Megan Thee Stallion. So Jay was kind to the artist. He met with her at the arena, spent a little time with her, and paid her bread for her creations. So,
wow.
I
love that.
Recognizing talent in art.
Nice.
Gifting it to his wife. I thought that was nice. And so, Beyonce is just spreading love everywhere she goes, or causing chaos. Depends on who you ask.
Both.
Both, a little bit of both. You know what is great about this tour, and obviously we're still in the thick of it, but seeing Blue Ivy's confidence grow over the tours, they continue to show clips of her out there performing with her mom. It seems like each night, each week that goes past, she's, getting more emboldened and doing a little bit more and giving a little bit more flavor and performance. That's got to feel incredible. It's probably, 30, 40, 50,000 people sitting out in those arenas, and just to watch her development over time is really special.
Yeah, it cracked me up when she came out the stage the other day and started waving, because she knew, what the cheering was for. I like it. And, when she first came out on the tour, people were giving her a hard time, saying what they had to say about her. But she's 11 years old.
Right.
So y'all stop. Y'all wish that if y'all was in the same position, y'all would let y'all 11-year-old be on stage doing the same thing too.
And I mean, now we see why B wanted her to be there. There's a video where Blue came out and she did a little move. She, like I said, her confidence is growing.
Yeah.
And Beyonce looked so proud. She was like, look at my baby.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
That's a sweet moment. So shout out to Beyonce. Shout out to the Carters in general. We appreciate them and all that they have.
It would be wild to
What?
see Beyonce. So Blue Ivy's 11. So in 10 years, that she is going to be bringing her mama heat.
You think so? You think she's definitely going to take up the family business?
And not only that, I think that will be Beyonce's she'll be competing with Beyonce on purpose.
Really?
Because, you can see it now. Like, Beyonce in 10 years, she'll be 50. She'll probably still be releasing music and touring. So at that point, Blue Ivy will be 21. Around the same time you have a debut album. So we could see that happen in our lifetime.
We could see them come together and maybe do a project together. They've already, had songs.
Yeah, I think by that point she'll be I want to do this by myself.
What if she wants to follow in Dad's footsteps and maybe
hey, there it
be a
is
rapper,
too. Maybe
or
both.
be behind the scenes, be a business executive. The world is her pearl.
She owns it right now. She
Pretty
runs
much,
the internet
legitimately,
for real.
Not only runs the internet, owns a lot of stuff too, because got some Grammys and all of that stuff.
All that.
Hey, it's nice to be a Carter kid.
I wonder what her net worth is.
Whatever her mama's is times. Well, you mean her own net worth,
yeah, her
right?
own,
Like
by
separately.
herself.
She definitely has one at 11.
Yeah.
Probably crushing a lot of buildings with it as well. Well, we also have to discuss, there was a 1,200-page report released regarding the Astroworld tragedy that happened involving Travis Scott a few years ago. And legal experts are saying that it could be, bad news for Travis and his team when it comes to a civil suit. There are implications that they didn't want to stop the show when people were trying to get to Travis to let him know that there was pandemonium happening in the audience. They were like, hey, Drake's about to come on. We can't stop the show right now. So, you know, is there some negligence there?
Wow.
Were they being given complete information? It's also said that they stopped responding over the radio. Not sure if it was because they couldn't hear or what was happening, but there are implications of that. It's also said that Scott's camp argued with the police and that this was a witness statement collected by investigators. They said that they were told that a woman was completely unconscious and her lips were blue, and that that she needed to have CPR and that the show needed to be shut down immediately. And one of the males responded by saying, "But they're not dead." I yelled, and the person said, I yelled, "They might be. We have to shut it down." So there's a lot happening. Drake was depositioned in this, and he said in a Zoom, well, not depositioned, he was interviewed by Houston police because we haven't reached the civil portion yet. But he said in a Zoom interview with Houston police that as he wrapped up his performance, he didn't notice that there were any safety concerns in the crowd. He said with the lights and the footing, you know, he had a recent knee surgery. He didn't see that there were any injuries. He couldn't see what was going on. He was just very into his performance and couldn't see that there was anything happening with that. So as you recall, there were 10 people from ages 9 to 27 who died after being trampled in the crowd of 50,000. November 5th, 2021 at the NRG Stadium. And so it is still going through its paces. Like I said, this report was 1,200 pages, so a lot to get through. The youngest victim, who was killed, 9 years old, his parents have come out in response to Travis Scott and his legal team saying that the report was released to coincide with the release of his album Utopia last week to cast bad light on it and capitalize on that. So a lot happening with that, a lot of moving parts. We'll see what develops with that. Trent, do you have any thoughts on what's going on with Travis and that story?
You know, I was in Houston that weekend that happened. And I opted not to I was in town for a 40th birthday party, but it was, you know, anyway. In events like this, it's horrible that it happened, but I think people should also kind of understand just what Drake saying, what he said, that when you're on stage and there are lights in your face and you've got monitors on, you really can't see what goes on, and you don't really see what's in the crowd. Like, I've been on the stage before, so you can legitimately, like, you don't even see the first 2 rows. You can see like maybe row 5 and 6, and then that's it. It's lights, you know, it's blinding. So that could very much well, you know, be the case with all those people that were out there in an open field. So it's a sad thing all the way around.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, when we come forward in hour 2, we're going to discuss narcissism.
Wow, it's 10 o'clock already.
Are you born or are you made? We're also going to get into more of Nene Leakes' conversation with Carlos King, because, honey, Nene had a lot to say about a lot of people. We're going to give an update on a case that has been discussed for quite a while involving Henrietta Lacks and her cells and her family. They've reached a recent court decision. And, of course, more with our Keep It Real friend, Trent Jackson. All that and more. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, RSVP with Jill Munroe.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. There's new hope that the U.S. may soon get some information about a Black Texas soldier who was captured when he crossed into North Korea. The State Department has reached out to the reclusive nation to get an update. For the first time, North Korea has